What's good, everybody? Part three, Monetize, you hate us. This is going to be a fun one. Just to give you guys a backstory, every now and then, I would say this has happened for the last year and some change. There's a group or a clique of like left libertarians that get to talking shit, and for whatever reason, they dislike me a lot, and that's fine. You know, it is what it is. I've always said, you ain't gotta like me at all. However, if you are going to talk down on me and on my name, then be sure to at least be honest. That's the least you can do. That's the least you can do is actually base that non-argument on my actual positions. That's the least you can do, right? So let's go into it. So I got notified by this post. I am going to show you here. Right here, some page called Libertarian Memes for Neoliberal Teens. First, it has this picture of all of these libertarians, and the guy that's killing them represents xenophobia, anti-SJW, conservatism, and the IDW. I don't know what the latter is, but my name is first. So, like, all right, let's check it out. See what it says. I am so sick of the soul-crushing feeling of seeing previously good libertarians fall one after another to a liberal mob that is cultural conservatism. It honestly makes me want to scream or cry or go full cow and punch a hole. And there was a wall. So I'm like, I don't know what that means. Let's continue. As for the ones on the knocking door, I don't think they're completely lost yet, but I've seen reason to believe there's a real threat of them turning. I hope to God they don't, but in all likelihood, it's going to happen. It's the fucking Mises caucus, and that caucus, all this, everyone they touch turns to shit. So they're talking about the Mises caucus of the Libertarian Party, which I have much respect for those guys over there. They've a lot of those guys, individuals in that caucus for the Libertarian Party, I believe, do a lot of good work. They've been supporters of myself as well. I'm not a member of the Libertarian Party. I'm not a member of the Mises Caucus either. So, but let's continue. Why is it so fucking hard to resist the allure of xenophobia? I'm not xenophobic. Transphobia, I'm not transphobic. Not scared of any trans person or anything like that. And whining about the MSM, I'm guessing means mainstream media and college campuses. I don't know what this person that posted this, whose name is OC, I guess it says here, what they have against people talking down on the mainstream media. I'm guessing, or college campuses, but I don't know. Can we please have libertarians who are not just Charlie Kirk clones? Why is it so difficult to just stand up for libertarian principles of liberty and equality? First of all, libertarianism has nothing to do with the latter. Equality at all. Libertarianism is about private property rights, starting with self-ownership. Therefore, this is why we believe in the principle of non-aggression. That is, you have no right to use aggression upon peaceful people, and we believe all transactions and interactions between humans should be without aggression, right? So that has nothing to do with equality. That is just a buzz term that's been used, and it's really a stupid term when you think about it, because it doesn't exist. It can't exist because every individual is different, and not even the same individual is well, more so the same individuals different from himself, even on different days, like the great Thomas Sowell once said. So, with that being said, equality doesn't exist. Now, people say equality under the law, people say equality of opportunity, and all these different things. Even those terms don't exist. But I can understand if you're using it to mean that. But even those don't exist because individuals are not robots by any means. So individuals that are enforcing laws or anything like that, they are going to be individuals. So they're going to be a preference. So the point of libertarianism is not to try to rid the world of inequality. That's not what it is. Certainly in human affairs, because that's not ever going to exist, because culture is a real thing, and certain individuals tend to gravitate towards certain human affairs more than other. Like the example that I always use is people like, say, if I own a track and field facility that's based on having like a sprinters, right? Like we want to train sprinters. My staff and the people that come to me to train may be entirely black, because black folks tend to do that, right? in terms of culture. That's what they tend to run track. Obviously, athletically gifted, athletically built, they tend to be, and that may be the makeup. That doesn't mean that there's any sort of active discrimination in that spot. Like based on race, that is, it's more of merit, and again, that's what it boils down to. So in that sense, that equality concept does not exist. So it has nothing to do with libertarianism. Left is not the biggest threat at hand. I don't really give a shit about any of that. He's talking about feminists, trans people's immigrants. So he sounds like he's just mad that people are griping at the left, which again is just such an obnoxious meme to make in this regards. And some of you guys may not know of these people, like me, John. I've either done something with, or ironically enough, either been interviewed by, with pretty much every person that's up here, um, aside from Maj, who he's the guy that does Black Guns Matter. I have a lot of respect for what he's trying to do in that regards. But all of these people, I've either been interviewed by me and Larry Sharp. We have a lot of great. I got a lot of love and respect for guys like Larry Sharp, as well as John Stossel and what he's done for libertarianism. But apparently, there's this guy who posted this has a lot of issues with, I guess, people knocking the left. Like, for example, this guy is talking about me saying that. I mean, he responds to me because I was like, okay, I play ball. What does this have to do with me? And he says, read the post, yada yada. Think about how you said Nazis can be libertarian. First of all, what they're referring to, you can go back to my video when I talked about Talib Kweli, and I talked about how somebody took an isolated quote. They removed, well, isolated, like, it was really completely out of context, and the photo itself was doctored because it didn't have the full actual quotes there. So what they're referring to is me and some guy named Bernard. He tried to bait me into saying that Nazis were libertarians, and what he asked me was, so say if a Nazi basically removed his Nazism, would he be a libertarian? And I said, and I put Nazis in quote, I said if he did that, obviously he wouldn't be a Nazi, but he would be a libertarian. That's not it shouldn't be anything groundbreaking. Somebody that's not using aggression upon peaceful people can be a libertarian. That shouldn't be, doesn't matter what their belief system certainly is, but for whatever reason, they're saying that I'm saying Nazis are libertarians based on that photo. No matter how many times that I've said what my actual position is, they don't care about that. And I'll go back to myself, this is what I don't understand about these left libertarians, and that they're so intellectually dishonest and so utterly foolish that they knock folks like myself. I've done a lot in terms of trying to advance the cause, advance libertarianism, and a lot of different cultural arts that I'm involved in, be it in music. You see me talking about comics and all of that stuff. I hit it from a cultural end. I don't give a shit about any of these guys' politics or anything like that. As far as y'all participating in that shit, I don't participate in that shit. I don't even fucking vote. So for guys to see me as this bad person or a threat based on that, and maybe the fact that I knock the left a lot, is kind of odd. But what's even more odd is that these intellectually dishonest types, like this guy that runs this page or whoever, none of these left libertarians ever confront me either in person, either intellectually, outside of an echo chamber. I have called these guys out for multiple times for debates. They fucking run from me. Adam Bates and guys like that. I'm like, hey, let's discuss the topic at hand without this echo chamber, without the dishonesty. Let's try to figure out where we differ, and whatnot, and try to have some like legitimate, honest, cordial dialogue. And they deny and decline every single time. And it lets you show that these guys don't give a shit about what's going on with libertarianism. They don't give a shit about spreading libertarianism. They just want people to be on the same page as them as far as how they go about it in tactic. And they will knock any other individual that has anything that differs from them in terms of how they go about promoting their libertarianism. I can't speak for those other guys in all of their positions top to bottom, but you can't find one motherfucking position that I ever had that was anti-libertarian. You can't find one. Yet these guys put me in the crosshairs every now and then. It's just so fucking weird. that they do that, but it says more about them than it does myself, because anytime this usually happens, I'm like, all right, what's the problem? And they say some old intellectually dishonest shit. I'm like, all right, man, let's have a discussion about it. Call me up. I call you up. We can do a live on stream. I'll go to your platform. You come to my platform. We can do whatever you want. And let's actually try to hash this out and figure out what the hell's going on and where we differ. And you think that for somebody that will want to actually cares about spreading libertarianism, and right, this guy that's bitching on his page is talking, all these libertarians are just good. It just kills me that they fall to this. I was like, all right, man, if that's the case, you would think that you would want to have those sorts of conversations, honest dialogue with those individuals, but half the time these guys always run. So why would you be dishonest about a person's position, considering the simple fact that, like, a guy like myself, I've done a lot, you know what I mean, in trying to spread this message, bro. I've done a lot. I've done a lot, and that's not to say that you have to like me. I don't knock a lot of people. I don't knock a lot of people that I may disagree with a tactic or anything like that. I just don't say shit, right? The only time I will put you in my crosshairs is if you put me in yours. And then I'll take it there. I ain't got no problem. Y'all know I'll run up on you. You know what I mean? We'll have a conversation in person. If I see you, y'all already know what time it is. Y'all gotta have a conversation with me. Ain't gonna do this internet bullshit, y'all memes and all of that shit. If I find out who's posting shit and I'm at an event or some shit and I run into y'all, you know I'm coming to see you, homie. You know I'm coming to see you. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna knock your bitch ass out. I'm just saying that I'm gonna at least have a conversation. Like, I'm gonna be like, hey, all right, all that shit you talking, here I am. Let's discuss it. But this is what kills me about internet, and this is the overall theme of this, even though this is a more serious monetize your haters. I've said time and time again that social media and the fact that everybody treats this like it's a fucking show has been a gift and a curse. The gift is that it's allowed us to connect. You see myself on Facebook, YouTube, all this other stuff. Connect with individuals that I otherwise would not have been able to connect with. That is a beautiful thing. Even on the political side, on the political spectrum, if you will, I've been able to connect with a lot of libertarians that don't live anywhere near me thanks to social media. That is a beautiful thing. The negative is that because everybody treats this shit like a show, we've completely, in a lot of cases, people have removed the actual conversation element, like the legitimate dialogue element to human interaction, because they're so fixated on, oh, I want to paint this person as something. Fuck being honest. It's about a show. It's about the likes. It's about shares. It's about all this other shit. And this is why, above all, if I say something about you, I always make myself available to have a conversation with you. Always. No matter who it is, no matter how much we've knocked each other, what we've said about each other. I don't give a shit about none of that. I will always make myself available for people if we have some sort of disagreement online, because I feel like I owe it to that person. I owe it to that person to have some legitimate dialogue. Certainly if he or she feels that I'm like strawmanning their positions or something like that, let's have an actual conversation. But these motherfuckers want to put on a show, and I think honestly they scared of that shit. They scared because when you do that, you don't have that benefit of that echo chamber, and you have to stand on your own and actually have to confront the individual that you're talking about with that bullshit that you're trying to spread. It doesn't really work out for you. Certainly if you don't know what you're talking about, and especially if you're lying. Don't be that fucking guy. That's all I'm saying. Don't be that fucking guy, because the last guy you want to be is the motherfucker that tried to throw his hands. Bitches got caught behind his back because he's on some old bitch shit, you know what I mean? And don't want to actually have a conversation with the people that he's down talking. Don't be that fucking guy.